All right, Sarah, with us now is Congresswoman Madeleine Dean, a Democrat from Pennsylvania. She sits on the House Foreign Affairs Committee and Appropriations. Congresswoman, thanks so much for being with us. I want to read to you a comment that the president just wrote on social media that apparently has to do with all of this, the fact that talks were called off, at least for now, between the United States and Iran. He wrote, "We didn't meet out of desperation. Iran did. They are finished," all caps there. "We'll play out the 60 days. They get no money. Not 10 cents. So what do you read in that?
Utter chaos. It's just complete chaos. And this memorandum of understanding, if you read it, it's brief. It's 14 very vague points. But it is not a deal for peace. It is actually a deal that looks like Iran wrote it because it is mostly entirely really in their favor. It's really a deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, which of course was open before Operation Epic Fury began. What I thought immediately upon this sad surrender by the president was Operation Epic Fury really turned into Operation Epic Failure. And I don't say that with any joy. Of course, Iran should never have a nuclear weapon, but think of what happened here. The president sent tens of thousands of American troops and their extraordinary service to this reckless war of choice without making the case to the American people, without making the case to Congress as required. And now he has ended it in failure. I regret that. I wish he had shown strength, but instead he's sending $300 billion. He's opening these dollars now and negotiate later. It's a very failed agreement, and we mustn't forget what happened here. Hundreds of service members have been wounded, and 13 service members are dead.
The $300 billion fund presumably would be if Iran meets certain benchmarks. The money they would get now or will get now or are getting now, it's not clear to me, comes from the sale of oil that is permitted already under the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding. I guess my question is, if there are no meetings, would you snap back the permission for Iran to sell its oil and lift the sanctions on them from selling their oil?
Well, I was happy to hear finally some Republican members of the House and Senate saying, actually, Mr. President, you need to come to Congress in order to fulfill any kind of agreement with Iran following your reckless war. So, yes, this is a piece of paper that is almost not worth the paper it's written on. So, yes, they need to come to Congress. But what you see here is a failure of diplomacy. Where has the Secretary of State been? Nowhere. J.D. Vance was going to go today and continue the negotiations, the 60-day negotiations. What happened there? Pulled back. It's chaos in this White House as the president is, I think, unwell. I think he's unhinged. And he certainly doesn't understand what it takes to cut a deal with Iran, somebody we have been working with, and they've been working against us, a murderous regime. And so the president is in a very sad state. And what is reflected is the chaos all around him.
Just that specific question, though. Do you think Iran should be able to sell oil if face-to-face talks are not taking place?
I think they shouldn't get any break on anything until this dispute is resolved. Sanctions should not be released. $300 billion. Notice the $300 billion is very unclear who that $300 billion is. There should be no relief for Iran. As I said, a murderous regime. Remember what the president said? Help is on the way. Well, it looks like help is on the way for the murderous regime, not for the Iranian people.
A much different subject, Congressman, if you will, not necessarily a lighter subject, which is the reflecting pool in front of the Lincoln Memorial, which I think everyone wants to be clean. I mean, everyone would love it if it were a clean, beautiful pool there. The White House spent $14 million to clean up the algae and whatnot and paint it blue. It doesn't appear to have worked so well, at least not yet. What does this represent to you? Does it represent just something we can all get behind to clean it up, or is it a portent of something bigger?
Well, sadly, it reflects what is going on in this administration. Just algae and muck. and failure. A simple reflecting, he called it a reflecting pond. Well, now it's become an algae pond. And what appears to be the peeling off of the surfaces that were put on it for a very expensive no-bid contract. It is a reflection of this administration's failure on so many fronts. Notice the president doesn't want to talk about it. He was boasting of the beautiful pool paint that was being put down. What it shows is this president doesn't understand much about history and the rhetorical setting that is the reflecting pool. It is to be a reflection of our history, the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, the reflection of our history. What an important rhetorical setting that has been for so many events. The president doesn't understand it. He sees it as a resort and a pool, and his pool has turned into muck.
Congresswoman Madeleine Dean from Pennsylvania, thank you for your time this morning. Appreciate the discussion.